So what that means is that we have to keep putting things in front of the student in such a way that they, when they're close to certification, get that final aha moment, that final epiphany that make things come full circle. And we do this with our theory, which we set up in such a way that it complements the linking training in the confined water, or in the initial parts of the classes, the what we call the personal skills development. And later then we become divers that use that in critical skills training. And that's when things become full circle. That's when the correlation between the theory, the personal skills, and now the critical skills in which we put them to the tests gets complete, right? And to give an explanation of what that is like the theory sets you up from a theory point of view. It's like, okay, what do we need to cover? The personal skills are the most overlooked development area in scuba industry, I think. Actually learning how to move yourself underwater. And I draw this parallel a lot of the times to an explanation, to explain what we do differently. And in so many sports, it's so obvious, right? Take, for example, swimming or dancing or mountain biking or skiing or whatever, any sort of sports where you're physically active has a strong motory skill development part of it. I can teach you the steps of a cha-cha-cha. I can write them down, what your left leg should do, what your right leg should do, what your hip should do, what your arm should do, how you should look at your partner, all that sort of. I could write that down, and it is written down. And these dancing books are super complex to read. And if I sound like I know what I'm talking about, yeah, I took dancing lessons. So, but it's so funny because I bought one of these books because I mean, not because I was, going down the path of buying too high waist tight, trousers and get my hair black and all the way back. But
I want to see you in your flamenco uniform.
Exactly. So I don't have one. I'm sorry. But I was interested in how they would describe how to move your body in such a way that it expresses a dance, because dance is about expressing emotion through movement, right? And of course, we're not going down that path that far. We're not expressing emotions with our back kick. I mean, it's not that dramatic.
Sometimes, like, what did you just do that for, right?
That's
emotion under the water.
That's true.
But it's not because I put my back kick this way or that way. It's usually because my middle fingers are up. Right?
Exactly. It's a different movement. Yeah. No, but it was interesting to read how they would describe the movement of the body. And I think in many ways, like I said earlier, it's about getting the diver to reach a conclusion in their own minds, like, hey, I need to send these and these signals to my butt in order for me to move my legs in such a way. And that requires a little bit of knowledge of you and your anatomy, what works together, what muscle groups are antagonists of other muscle groups, and so on and so forth. And I think that helps, or at least it helps me a lot, in getting the point across with moving divers underwater. And it works from the very beginning, from the open water class, from entry-level classes, right? When we teach them the very basics of scuba diving, which is breathing. And how does your body react to being underwater? And as you know, all of the initial classes are without scuba equipment. It's no equipment. It's bathing suit or swimming trunks, and that is it. Nothing else. Let's first see what your body does underwater, and let's get your land brain, park it, and let's get a water brain. That's the first thing we need to do. And when that's done, let's now slowly introduce some of the equipment that can now do what your body wants to do underwater, but help you. Let's give you some tools to make your job easier, right? And that's what it's all about.